All right. Here we go. Here we go. All right. Now, if I'm correct, I shouldn't have. We can turn on some music here. Man, these moves today are wild. I'm just testing this thing out really quick. Testing my stream out. All right, we're going to go with. Mm-hmm. So let's go ahead, grab some accounts really fast. Now, and these moves are so crazy big today. This is wild when you have like what is this? A 50-point move between like in a candle. Like these are crazy moves happening today. That is not what I wanted to buy. Might be cheaper for me to reset these. Buy new evals. We will see. 227. 227's already passed. And I don't want to pay for. I need to switch this account over to a PA account today, I think. Just so I don't have to pay for it again. Let's see, 227. 227s. That would be on the 25th, so I'm good. I am good. Let's see if that account is up. Man, these moves today are just crazy on the 1 minute chart. Having 50-point moves on a 1 minute candles is just like stupid. I mean, this candle here at 10 and the news candle was crazy, but these candles after the news candles are just wild, man. That's a 75-point 1 minute candle. Jeez. Let's see. Do I have an account that I can trade that I don't? And that sucks. I am waiting for my accounts to update because I don't want to trade. I don't want to trade any of these accounts yet. This is wild, man. I'm the overnight drop during the Asian and London session last night. It's just a nasty drop, unexpected too. I mean, look how far we are outside like the day's range right now. That range. Well, let's see. How do I? We are looking at ES. Let's fix that. I gotta fix that. All right, hold on. Let's fix this to NQ. There we go. So that right there is the 1 day range. And this is the 55 moving average. And like 90% of the time, we're not going to come out of this lower band. I mean, we come out of this lower band so not often. If you look, like, I mean, you can see like we'll come out a little bit sometimes and like right here. But us coming out of these bands like this, last time it happened, it would have been March 2020. But that was because of COVID, this big drop. So, it's very rare that we especially come out this far. Like, I mean, we are further out of the bands than we were on COVID right now. But this is because of the Japanese bank system just failing last night. It's going to be interesting to watch. Oh, all right. So I have another account now. Apex has been taking their sweet time, at least on my end. Like when I've gone to switch accounts from like evals to PAs, or just get new evals. Sometimes it's taken up to like sometime either last week or the week before. It took like 3 hours for me to actually get the PA account up. Because of these moves are so big, it's just not. These moves scare me, man. To be honest with you. just because if you're wrong about your entry on, 50, on these candles that are 50 points, it's like you could easily blow up some accounts or give a lot of gains back. But at the same time, it's like you can make a lot today too. So it's just going to be interesting to try to navigate it. I'm hoping here that we go back down just to touch the VWAP because it looks like that's going to be the move. And then probably head back up here. So I'm just going to wait patiently. And you can also see on the footprint chart where we have a stacked imbalance near this VWAP level right here as well. Just wait for it to push into that. This is like the worst part about trading is just waiting for like your setup or your entry to hit. Oh my God. Dude, it is wild, man. I mean, these moves are so crazy. I am not trading. I don't think I'm going to trade a live account with these moves, or might would just go down to micros because these moves are just insane. I do not like these moves at all. These moves are so massive. Holy crap. I mean, realistically, it's like a lot of times I'm scalping from like 1 to 5 contracts. You know what I mean? And it's like, if you took 5 contracts on just that one candle, again, it's a 60-point move. We're having 60-point moves in one candle. I mean, um, which I shorted it because, here, I shorted it on eval over leverage and I lost the trade because I was looking at this, kind of like something like that, right? And I still think that it wants to come down to VWAP. And so when it stood out there, looking on the order book, it looked like a pretty good setup to potentially short. And I'm probably right about the move. I'm just probably early. Um, I will see. I might be totally wrong about the move, but uh, you know, being wrong, it's just like 60 points times 20. So 60 points times 20. That's $1,000 move. That's a $1,200 move with one contract. That's crazy. I mean, with 5 contracts, that's a $6,000 move. This is crazy. Like, I mean, this is like borderline that territory of like, you know, um, you probably want to be trading. I mean, honestly, probably the 250K accounts today. These kind of moves are just insane to me. This is hard to trade. It's hard to trade because even if you're right about a move like that, right? It's like, you know, I'm used to having tight stops if I trading my live accounts, right? And it's just like, dude, like you can't have a tight stop on almost any of this. Like all this is like crazy. I don't know, man. This is just nasty. You want a 10-point stop? Good luck trying to get your entry today. That's just what it seems like, man. It just seems like just nasty. You know. The 21 bounces have been validated though earlier on this morning, right? So after the 9:30 open, this pullback, that was a great entry. You know, potentially taking this into news, but I mean, it's like I don't even know. I mean, if you got in maybe on these lower wicks and you put yourself right below that, not a horrible setup, not a horrible idea. But again, I would not be trading news here. Oh, let me show you guys what I'm talking about. Sorry. The 21 moving average here this morning. It's really pretty validated entry. And then but the problem is like, then if you tried to trade the 21 here, right? This is the problem with today is like trying to even trade the 21 today. Like, even if you entered right here, right, you probably would have been able to maybe get a little bit of profit because it looked like it had like a little bounce, right? Not a big bounce, but enough, right? But this wick down, that's a 13-point wick. It's, that's not that bad, but you would have got what, 3 points, 5 points maybe on that bounce. If you would have entered right at the 21, it's definitely been hard. And now we're kind of in this chop where it's like we're not respecting 21 on either side. Once we came through it, we respected it for a little bit. We come back through it, and then we're not respecting on the downside whatsoever. It seems like, like kind of like right there, but definitely when we came back down to the 21 right here, that was probably the entry. Just looking at it now, that should have been my entry long. I should have just waited for something like that. I was trying to wait for the a test of the VWAP, and also that would line up with the stacked imbalance. This is a crazy day. Man, I really don't want to trade my funded accounts today, just because it's like if you take a bad trade today, it's going to be rough. I want to see what this looks like here. It's funny as the 15-second chart almost looks more tradable than the 1-minute chart to me. Oh, screw it. Let's do it. We're going to go off of this. You know what? I think the move today is just to load up on evalves. I think, and just pass. If you, I did lose some accounts recently when I went on vacation because I lost some evals just because I try to go ham, try to way over leverage myself. And I lost some accounts trying to over leverage my accounts before I went on vacation. And so, I'm wanting to just get some of those accounts back, I think, today. I think that's the move. So I think I'm just going to load up on like 4 or 5 evals here. The other thing that I've noticed on today is that market fill orders have not been in my favor. Very much so today. So we're just going to, should probably put in all my account info up here just in case. All right. Yeah, I figured that today I'll just get 5 more, at least load up some more PA accounts so I can get my PA accounts back up to 10. That should be an okay thing to do. It's kind of crazy because I mean, technically, all you need is like 61 ticks on 10 contracts to pass an eval, and it's like every candle is pretty much over 61 ticks today. So it is kind of crazy. That's why I said it's like an interesting day to just try to load up on evals. I mean, theoretically speaking, like you could, there's no rules technically with evals on Apex, so it's like you can trade it however you want. I mean, technically you could trade against it if you want. So like, typically some days it's harder, you might have to wait a second or whatever, but today it's like, dude, you can pass evals probably so quickly. So I'm just going to load up on evals because I don't like this chop, and yeah, it's just not good. So probably let's see how many do I want to pass? I probably just want to pass 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, probably 4. I think I need 4 more. I need 4 more evals pass so I can load up some more PA accounts. How are y'all doing today? I know that I see 2 people in here. 2. No, I haven't been on in a while, so it's been good though. I've still been trading. I'm still sick, man. I have the sinus infection that will not go away. I've been on antibiotics now. I'm going back to the doctors again this week. Like I've been on steroids. Like I've been on everything to try to like kick this sinus infection's butt, but it's just not working for me. All right, there we go. We're going to turn on. Today would not be a bad day to try to pass a 250K account, man. I mean, if that's been one of your goals, today is honestly just not a bad day to try it. I mean, the moves are so big today where, it should be relatively possible, relatively, especially over the past hour of early market. In fact, what I'll do today is, let me see Forex Factory, what we have news-wise, other than, I don't think we have anything else today. We do have the 10-year bond later this week. Let's see. Yeah, you know what? I think what I'll do here is I think we will. I'll go ahead and pass one of the 250K accounts that I have. Let's see. That's 81 and 30. Let's see, is that the earliest one? So yeah, so 81 and 30. So we'll pass this one. Reset this one. Sorry, I'm doing like all these boring stuff on the back end right now. I'm actually going to go ahead and refresh the accounts. Interesting. It says I can't reset that account for some reason. Why can I not reset that account? Uh, 81. Interesting. I don't know why it won't let me reset that account, but it'll let me reset this one. Maybe that one hasn't, maybe I didn't fail that one. That's why it won't let me reset. Oh, this is such an iffy area. We're just, dude, last night, man, just what's happening with the Japanese system right now is just crazy. It's what's scary is like it's going to affect a lot more than I think people realize, I think, and it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out, especially in the coming months, even the coming weeks, you know, especially with because it just depends on like how much money that is, you know, being borrowed from Japan is currently in our stock market, and then if those banks basically require, you know, these companies to pay them back relatively quickly, or trying to, you know, margin call them, like all that's going to play a huge factor in what happens over the next couple of weeks and stuff. So um you know, it's like, as much as I want to say this should be the bottom, like we should not be going further down than this. Like, I mean, this is a you know, this is kind of like a, you know, almost like a black swan event. Japanese stock market. Yeah. The Japanese stock market last night had the single largest crash, the Nikkei 225, and the largest single day crash that it's ever had. 13, is that 13% down? 13%. That's crazy. In a single day. 13% it lost. I mean, that would be NQ losing. That'd be NQ losing like 2,000 points in a day. I mean, that would be literally the drop that we had from Wednesday, July 17th, pretty much all the way down to today, happening all just in one day. That's how crazy the Japanese crash was last night. Like putting 13% in perspective, like it's of the Nikkei 225 dropping last night, which is just unheard of. I need to quit. I need to load up on one more account here. Let's see here. I need a 250K account. Number 82. 182. 182. Let's reset this one. All right. What's up, Jay? I don't know which Jay this is. I know like so many Jays. Is this Wall Street Bets Jay? Is this Jay from Quant? Is this my other friend Jay? There's too many Jays. Never know who it is. Look at that move. That's the move I was waiting for. All right. So this should be the last account that I need to load up on. I wanted to get all these accounts in before a move like that because I really wanted to be able to trade a move like that today, but all right. Oh, I keep on trying to. I don't even need to automate opening that account up. I did. I meant to check my natural gas accounts today because I think all that's on automation right now. I need to check that before I do anything. I don't know. Yeah, so it's like $160 down today. That's not bad. It's not good, but it's not bad either today. I'm just going to refresh the page so I can see it. So yeah, not bad. All right. So here we go. Now we have some accounts that I'm going to trade here. All I'm going to do, I'm just passing evals today. I'm just, these moves are so crazy violent right now where it's just, I did trade an account earlier today, made some money, then lost it all. And I'm just like, break even on that account for the day. It's just hard for me to gauge these moves. And, unless I'm trading with a tight stop, it's just hard today because it's like, man, these moves are so violent and so quick today where you got to be very careful. I would definitely be trading today with a stop if I was trading my normal accounts. Let's do this account, and 32 and 30. 32 and 33. Honestly, I'm just going to pass one of these. Or I'm not going past either one. That's wild. Yeah, I did. I mean, dude, these moves are just stupid today, man. I tried to trade the little 21 bounce there, and then as soon as that one failed, and so we started dropping lower, I just went ahead and changed it again. I went ahead and just switched the account and took it lower, and for a 30-64 tick move and passed that account. God, man. The fact that you can pass an account in like less like a half of a candle right now is just like scary and stupid if you're loading up 10 contracts. So I've blown two accounts, two evals today and passed one. Not like the best. Like I would much rather have at least 50-50, but I probably will by the end of the day. I have loaded up on a couple of them, so we're just going to keep on trading them. Again, it's like the way that I trade my evals is probably not the best. Ideas. See, here's the crazy part about today is like today, like right now, like we just closed below the 50 moving average, right? Typically when we close below the 50 moving average on NQ and ES, right? Typically this is a sign that we're going to probably drop a lot lower. Just almost always is. Like, but today it's just not, things are not, things are just like, wicking way further than they normally wick. And so if you're scalping like I typically do, right? I mean, these wicks can kill you. And so, is it worth trying to trade this, right? It's like maybe, but it's like I don't know, man. These wicks are just crazy, and it's not moving the way that I'm used to seeing it move on moving averages today. It's just like really nasty, and now we're in this. If you look at the 2 minute, you can see like we're in this nasty chop now. So you can see we had the move up. If you traded the move up, even if you trade that 121 moving average bounce, right? You can see like now we're in this chop. And what's crazy is basically we have the moving average right at this level now too. So we're basically between the moving average and what is this, S2? Yeah, it's S2. And so until we kind of break out of either S2 or break VWAP, I would be very careful here. And it's like VWAP has a stacked imbalance too. So if we look there, you can see the VWAP stacked imbalance. Yeah. So it's like kind of seems like a nice support, but if that second balance, here's the thing. Most likely what will happen if we continue to the downside, we'll probably bounce off the stacked imbalance, right? And you'll see the stacked imbalance taken out on the stacked imbalance chart. And if we come back down to then try to test that level again, and the stacked imbalance has been taken out, then it's probably just going to tank, and we'll probably go all the way back down to 17,700 area at S3. Yeah, that's probably where we'll go. There seems to be a really strong support this morning at like that 17,369 level, which is like a really weird level to like find a lot of support on. If you look at it on a day chart, it was kind of like, it's kind of, you can see where we found support before on that level in May. But to me, it's still like a weird level. I would not have expected us to find support really until like 1700s, on a move like this. You know, it is funny though, is I've gone on record and said this, right? The average amount of days that we spend under the 50 moving average on a day chart, once we go under it, is usually an average of 16. On an uptrend, it's typically a max of 19 days. So we are currently 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're 8 days under the 50 moving average on a day chart right now. And so we probably will not come back above that for at least another, 8 days. So we might have some bullish moves back up to the 50 moving average on a day chart on NQ. But yeah, I mean, this is just statistics. So you have to, be aware of that. And that's something that, it was interesting because, on, what was it, Wednesday last week? We came very close to closing above that 50 moving average. But if you look at it, look at the 50 moving average on a day chart, and you'll see that we close right below it. It was like very intentional. It's very much something that is used, it seems like, on a, by bigger institutions. I don't really know exactly why it happens, but I know it does happen. This is just a nasty day. We have a big old W pattern on the 15 minutes now. I'm just waiting for a setup now. I refresh I know we have some earnings today too. Earnings. What do you do? Hold on. Why is there an emoji icon that's covering up your message? That's stupid. All right. What do you do? What do you do if you think the gap above? But what do you think of the gap above? The overnight gap that we did last night. No, the gap. Yeah, from Sunday. Yeah, so Sunday's gap. Yeah, it could. It's probably going to most likely fill Sunday's gap. Yeah, it's probably most likely going to fill Sunday's gap. Here, I'll give you some interesting statistics. I can turn on my statistics on it. So, okay, so you have gap ups, gap downs, right? And this is actually unfair because technically there are 4 different types of gaps. A lot of people don't think about this, right? So you have inside gap ups and outside gap ups. And okay, let's just start off by saying, all right, we're going to turn this off. This is, no, not that one. We're going to turn this one off for a second. Okay. So, oh my gosh. All right, here we go. So this is the gap, right? That we made last night. That is an outside. All right, so what do I mean by this? Let's see. Let's make sure it is an outside gap down. I think it is. No, it's not. That's an inside gap down. Barely an inside gap down. Okay. So an inside gap down and an outside gap down. And an inside gap down is a gap down that is still within the previous day's range, right? That is a inside gap down. An outside gap down is if it opened up outside the previous day's range, right? And the reason why I think that this is important is because typically when we have outside gaps downs, right? Typically we don't come and fill them within the same day, right? Now this is very close to being an outside gap down or an inside gap. So this was kind of like right on the edge. It is an inside gap. So we could fill it in the same day, same 24 hours. But I think that there's a big difference between them. And so I classify gaps ups and gaps down into two categories like that. Um, or technically four categories. So you have inside and outside on upsides and downsides. And yeah, so that's something I look for. And then there's a guy that makes this this little thing, right? And so you can see when we are gapping down over the past couple months, right? The average bar time to fill a gap down is 157. And that's over 15 minutes. So you do like 157 divided by times 15. Then divide by 60. So the average time to fill a gap down is 39 hours. So roughly about 2 days. So that's like kind of an important thing to know, you know. It's like, okay, the average time that it takes. So could it happen the same day? Yes. Could it happen 2 days later? Yes. That's just like, there's YouTubers out there right now that make a lot of stupid, I don't know, things on like, oh, trade the gap, but like statistically, like it doesn't fill typically within the same day. I mean, statistically, especially, so it's like, I don't know, does it fill in the same day? Sometimes yes, but statistically, I think majority of the time it doesn't. So it's like, you have to be just kind of careful with that type of stuff of listening to people. You just need to. My biggest thing is like, dude, just make sure you do your own, your own due diligence on that, right? It's just stupid. Yeah, so you just kind of got to be careful with it. Question is, do we fail here or do we just shoot up here? And how many ticks do you need to pass well, I guess 17. 17 times 20. 17 times 20. And I don't know anything about the 250K accounts. I don't typically trade them. How many points do you need to pass? No, it's $15,000. Okay, yeah, it's pretty sure it's 15,000. 15,000 divided by 340 equals 44 points. Divided by, times 4. So 177. 177. Yeah, 250K accounts are probably very difficult to pass like this. I'm making a bracket system really fast for this. Thanks for the answer. I'm saying big extension W pattern form. It will reach the gap. Yeah, I think it might reach the gap here for sure. I think the things to watch out for here is that inside of that gap is okay. So we Yeah. So inside of this gap here, you can see this yellow line. This is like the bigger deal that I've been looking at, right? Is this yellow line right here is yearly VWAP, and we just went through it. And so um this gets into, like, you can see kind of how we rejected off of it a little bit before closing on or before not closing, before closing on Friday, right? And then how we opened up below it. So my fear with this is that, even if we do feel this, right? My fear would be that we continue lower. And the yearly VWAP becomes a point of rejection. Um, um, so quantity 100%. Let's see. I want my stop to be. I want my target and ticks to be 177. Maybe 178, just to be safe. 178. So that should be all I need for a 250K count. I make my own brackets, especially like for passing evaluation sometimes, just so I can see on my chart, how far I am from passing or failing an evaluation. 25 and 34. I think the thing here is to just wait now. Most likely have a little bit bigger pullback here on the Qs. We did find support. Oh man. Oh, I am tired today. Man, it looks really good. I really want to be long here, but I really want like a little bit of a pullback here. If we could get a pullback all the way back to the 21, I'd take it long, I think, here. I think we want to wait. want to get up and get some more coffee because I'm almost done with my cup, but I really want to take this trade. It happens on the QQQ. On SPX, we are oh, we're not quite at that pivot yet. I mean, ES is at a kind of a pivot point that we've already touched. Came back down. Looks like we're probably going to go through it. Yeah, that looks like it. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we filled the gap today, to be honest with you. I mean, you know, the fact that we already went down to S3, uh, you know, I mean, almost we were down past S3 before market open, and then ever since 8 a.m. we've been bullish. So now when it comes to like inside gaps ups and outside gaps up, I don't have the full data on that. Like I haven't been able to run that into like a script or anything to actually get the info. This is just something that I know from like trading, and I know it's at least in like limited group sets that it seems to be pretty reliable, and pretty much more accurate than just inside or you know, gaps up, gaps down. Trying to I know it's something that me and Anthony talked about building into like a you know, a little script and being able to deep back test it. Um, not just a script, but like deep machine learning. And so hopefully I'll have the data on inside gap ups and outside gap ups and downs soon, because I think that that's going to be a huge difference. You know, it's like anytime where you can like filter out, you know, a 50, it takes something that is almost a 50-50, right? Uh, you know, and get it in closer to 70, 73, then that becomes something you can trade. Here comes that push down to the 21. Maybe. Dude, the fact that like these are still like crazy moves happening. I mean, these aren't as crazy as this morning, but like, I mean, the fact that we're still getting, you know, 40-point candles, it's wild to me. That is not snap. Hmm. Oh, dude, these moves are just insane. These moves are just way wild. Oh, I think. I wonder how. Wonder how. It's like weird. It's like in my head. It's like I wonder how other people did trading today. I can watch live really quick. I guess I should probably mute my computer, but I'm curious on like curious on like how, curious on how I did today. I guess let me should probably mute my desktop audio. That that way I don't accidentally have some crazy echoes. Nutty Bar. Let's see how Nutty Bar is doing today. It was a hard. It's a hard day to trade just because it's like you're not used to these big moves today. They're down. Who else? There's certain people that like. That's interesting. I don't know how he set his stream up to the point where I can't rewind it. I didn't know you could do that. Um, yeah, I think I'm just gonna call it there since I have two counts passed this morning. I want more, but it's just I don't like the price action here. 2 counts. I want to go ahead and trade 3 more. No, because I have another one that I passed too, so that's 3. And one, I'll probably pass 2 more today later on. Just wait till we get that. That's the move I was looking for. The short move right there. I was just early. God, man. That was the move I wanted to capture all the way back down to the 21. And then to go along with the 21. That's pretty much the move right there. Catch that little bounce right there. That would have been. It's what I was waiting for this whole time, and I missed it. Godly. Oh, whatever. Screw it. It doesn't even matter because it's like it could continue lower, but like that little bounce, like that little pullback we had off the 21, Would have been a 20-point move. No, 10-point move. Would have been okay. Probably would have broke even at 10. Now we're going to go all the way back down to the 50 here. There's no way that we just hold here. It's going to go back down to the 50 moving average. Ooh. Or I'm a liar. That's cool too. I don't think we go back down to 50 here. Yeah. Yeah, it's going to go back down 50, I think. Really, it's probably going to touch that stacked imbalance right here. That's probably what's going to do. It might take a second for it to get there. Yeah, it's going to be, dude, today is just a rough day, man. I would be very careful on a day like today. It is easy to lose an account today, or like, you take one bad trade without a stop loss and, you realize that you're down, especially if you did it with like two contracts, you didn't realize how big these moves were yet, that first trade would have probably screwed you. Look at it go wick the 9 and should probably want to push back down. It's kind of like this is kind of like how I see this is like if we push the 9 and we're push back down and we make it's probably going to go all the way down to 50 if we break this low here. If we came back up and we closed right above the 9 and then that 9 would be support kind of, that's kind of how I read this. And typically, the moves are a little bit easier to read than this. Like this, the volume that's in here is just like today is just nutty. And so it's like it's not moving how I would expect it to move. And it makes scalping and entering scalps very difficult for me right now. And yeah, this is where we could find support here. I was expecting it to go lower, but that is the opening of 5-minute candle. And you can see this stupid moving average here. This is the 8 moving average on a 5-minute chart. And this acts as support a lot. And if I zoom out, you can probably see this better on a 5-minute. And the reason why I look at this on a 5-minute is because like I think bigger money moves on bigger time frames typically, right? So I don't know, you can kind of always see that if you trade like this is kind of stupid, but it's like if you just traded like the 8 moving average on a 5-minute chart, right? I mean, you would have got short here and just pretty much stayed in this almost all day. You might have wanted to get out once it came above right here, and then go back short right here, right? But if like you just traded with the 8 moving average, right, on a like we go up, we kind of have a little bit of retest of it, and you trade that. I mean, this is a decent, decent way of trading. If you wanted to, if you still think it's going to fill the gap and you wanted to get long, like getting long off of this move is pretty much okay, like off the moving average here. Just kind of a idea that I played around with. This kind of gets into like, I don't know, different styles of trading. I have friends that literally trade the 8 moving average on a 5-minute chart, and that's all they do. They use smart money concepts, kind of what you see here. It's confluences, but they are profitable traders. At least it's I guess it's hard to say whether that somebody's profitable. I know that they get payouts. I could say that much. And if you're getting payouts from prop firms, it's kind of like one of those things of like, let's just say if you're on day like 43, right, and you've taken 4 payouts out of Apex on 10 accounts, right? The chances of you having to spend more than what you've made for the year is unlikely, so that's what I say when it's like I don't know, I can't see their bank account statements, you know what I mean, but it's like like just logically thinking, like I don't think that they're upside down, you know, compared to there's some people that I know that scalp like me, like right, like where we blow through accounts sometimes very quickly. I'm okay with blowing through accounts. I'm okay with over leveraging. Like today, I'm okay with losing one, two, three counts and passing two. You know, on evals. You know what I mean? I'm okay with like spending more money because I can to whatever. So yeah, there's that move. It would have been a fine trade off that moving average there. It's interesting. I mean, this kind of gets into like, just different ways of trading. Um, I try to combine kind of all these different ways of trading into my own like little trading style. I really like taking trades off stacked imbalances. That's like one of my favorite things, but it's like today, like for example, like this morning, we didn't have any trades off of a stacked imbalance after 9, right? We had the stacked imbalance here. We didn't come back to it. We have the stacked imbalance here. We didn't come back to it. And now we have this little stacked imbalance up here, but that we could reject off of, but we'll probably go through it. To be honest, it's not a very big stacked imbalance. But it's like this stacked imbalance overnight, right? This big one that we finally came back to. You can see this is what I mean by it's like trading stack balances I really like because it's like especially big ones that have formulated that you can go back on a 15-minute chart and see like okay, what time was this? This is like at 2:45 as a strong candle up, right? Pretty validated stacked and balance, right? And it's like so when we came back, even though we continue going down, you get that initial bounce off of it. And what's cool about it is like if you really want to, you put your order right in the middle of the stacked and balance. Let's say you put your stop right underneath the stacked and balance for like 20 points, right? I mean, you could target a 2-to-1, so like a 40 point, 20 risk 20 to make 40. That's a decent trade. But the problem with just like trading stacked and balances like this is, you know, there's over the whole overnight session, this is the only this is a triple stacked and balance like this where we have like 3 levels of it, if that makes sense. Those are the ones that I really like to try to trade. But it's like, for example, all day today, if you include overnight, we only had one of those actually that you could trade off of. So it's like, few and far between kind of. So not great for prop trading, if you want to take more than one trade in a day. So this is kind of, I don't know, that gets into just a lot of different things. The other thing is like right now, for people, if you look at the QQQ, like where we've been rejecting off of, let's see if I can show you guys. So yeah, this is QQQ, and you can see we've been rejecting off the S2 S2 pivot 1 2 times there. And so that's the let's make sure that I can, yeah. All right, so yeah, you can see that we've been rejecting off that pivot point though. And so this is where it's like, I don't know. This is where it's like I look at everything. SPX is also on its pivot point right now. And it looks like we just closed above SPX pivot point, which is awesome. So now SPX is trying to make new highs as QQQ is falling a little bit behind. But this is kind of like if we on SPX, if we break above its pivot point and then we come back down and find support there, we could push higher, which, QQQ probably will follow. And then, ES and NQ will also kind of adapt as well. You can see we're pushing on ES right now. If I switch over to the ES chart, right? So you can see that we just pushed that high right there, right? And watch how NQ reacts to that as well. So you can see this is where we just started pushing new highs on ES, but you can see that NQ is slowly following now. and we are now above the pivot point on ES. I want to make sure that I'm actually showing the right charts here. Nope. Let me fix the ES chart. Fix ES chart to this. There we go. So you can see that on ES that we just pushed through that pivot, right? You can see that on the ES 1 minute here. Make sure that's right too. See, this is where we broke through and we started pushing, right? And what that looks like on NQ right here is where we started to push, right? Now, NQ has not broken its high, it's like a recent swing high, right? But ES has, right? Also, ES is now above the pivot point as well. So if we go to ES's 2 minute, this is like things that it's like I'm just like looking at, right? So it's like ES is now above that yellow pivot point right here. And so what I'm kind of expecting, or would be expecting, is now push back down to this pivot, find support here, and then the next push up should push the NQ to make a new swing high. That's kind of the logic there. So, you know, kind of just going over how these things are correlated. Now, QQQ has not pushed through that pivot still. Like there is a pivot on QQQ that we just tapped it again, basically. But we did not go through it and we did not close above it. So that's what we're waiting for too. So as soon as ES, you know, has a little bit of a pullback right here, see if it pulls back all the way to the pivot here, and then we'll see it go. There it goes. You see the pivot touch. Now we're going to switch over to the NQ chart to watch it on the 21. You see that was the pivot point, was that 21 touch. That was the pivot point. And so I'm just going to flip back and forth between ES so you can see that's the pivot, how it's going to react on NQ. And hopefully, as long as this pushes higher here, this next push should form a new swing high here on the NQ 1 minute chart, and QQQ should break the pivot. Or we could just go lower. See, we're really hoping that for that pivot to hold here. We do have like a little order block there as well that could find support. There we go. That should be it. We're also on that 8 EMA here too, on the 5 minute. These moves, man. We're looking at ES right now. I should probably put a label here where it says 2 minute and just put ES too. Just that way people know what we're looking at. This is the question. If we go lower here, then this whole move is just going to take a little bit longer. Long story short, this is where we want to find support. If we don't find support here, we get into like pretty scary territory. So this 50 moving average not holding. The next place that it could find support would be right here, which would be the stacked and balance level. And then if that's not support, no, I mean, if that's not support, then we could, I mean, next level is going to be VWAP, and then the next level under that's going to be this zone right here. This level, this first zone is going to line up with the pivot point on NQ. It's going to line up with S2 probably. SPX is just going in and out of this pivot now. Oh. Yeah, it's probably going to go lower here, I think. As soon as I say that, we have like this green candle. I still think that it wants to go lower before it goes higher now. Should probably draw this circle. Actually, just making the box here. And it's like if we do go lower and we don't hold this level here, then I think we go all the way back down to VWAP. So the yes. We're coming back up to that, coming back to this ES pivot again. This is not a good time to trade anyways. This is like, we're at 11 p.m. or 11 a.m. Oh my goodness. So tired. I kind of just want to leave this up here for a second because I think that, again, it's like, I think that we're going to touch this eventually and have a little bounce off of it, probably, if we go that low. I'm just going to say too, man, sometimes I look at ES and I wonder why I even try to trade NQ, because like ES just seems like has so much cleaner moves. I feel like sometimes, You know what I mean? Like where it's like we have this nice clear bounce on the 21. We have another 21 here, right? We have another, bounce off the 50 here. It's just like I feel like sometimes the moves are just like cleaner than NQ. At least today, because the wicks today are just insane on NQ. Like I mean, this wick that we had at, what is that, 1108 on a 1 minute chart. Like we're having a 20 point wick right there. That's a 20 point wick. Not to mention like the size of the candle. Yes, just seems sometimes like just a friendlier thing to trade on days like today. I just wanted to go touch my box, please. Go touch my box. Mm-mm. Holy crap. 12,000 trades. We would like to remind you that if that trading is not allowed within 2% of CME price limits on both sim and live, you can find the price limit for your instruments. What the heck? Some prop firms have some weird rules. I just realized that my funded features cmegroup.com/trading/price-limits. cmegroup.com/trading/price-limits. .html. Let's see if that works. So basically, they're saying that you are not allowed to trade today because we're over 2%. If the move is above 5% up or down, trading is not permitted. Uh, Permitted. Keep this in mind. Okay, but I'm so confused. My funded futures has a weird rule where they actually just notified everybody yesterday about it. And I might have broken that rule today. It depends on what's weird is like CME's price limits go in increments of 5%. And what's weird is it says we would like to remind you that trading is not allowed within 2% of the CME price limit both ways. Okay, so the price limit is 5% on CME. No, it's 7% on CME. So you're saying, like, they're basically saying that we would have to then calculate that we're only allowed to trade up to 5% moves, and we're not allowed to trade 5 to 7%, though, basically. That makes no sense. In QU. Oh yeah. I mean, yeah. So if you traded today around, the 7% move would have been 881. Oh yeah. So anybody that traded today would have broke their rule today. That's fantastic. That's a stupid rule. That's one of those rules that if that is a rule, it would be one because it requires somebody to do their own calculation. That It requires somebody to do their own calculation, which it's like that's something that Rhythmic should just not allow your account to trade. Not that shouldn't You shouldn't lose your account for trading today. Blue Sky says it seems like they don't care because it looks like they also have something in their terms of service about this as well. My funded future seems like they're going to enforce it though. So that's fun. Yay. I probably lost my funded future accounts today if they enforce that stupid rule. That's just fantastic. Hey, look, we finally touched my little box and I totally missed it because I was paying attention to other stuff. Yay, we touched it. Doesn't look like we touched it, but we definitely touched it. And for people who don't know, that little box on the 1 minute was based off of the stacked and balanced right here, right? And stacked and balanced right here kind of also lines up with the 50 moving average on the ES chart as well. But you can see that once we touch that box, right, you can see how parts of this stacked and balanced was taken out, right? And we had a little bounce off of it. So that was the trade that I was waiting for that I just missed. You know, again, it's like you're trying to get the reaction off some of these levels whenever you're looking at stacked and balances. So you're not looking at potentially trying to get the whole move, right? you know, so let's just say if you did take that trade, you were able to capitalize, you know, say 40 points. I mean, dude, that's a 50 point move, and you would have risked probably 20 points to do it if you would have put your stop under the stack. I mean, probably could have got a nice 2-to-1, but um, would have been a decent trade. I just didn't catch it. Anyways, I'm probably gonna hop off here. Might come back on later. Probably just gonna pass a couple more accounts today. And that's it. I'm also going to go double check all my prop account rules, to make sure that I'm not violating them today, apparently, because now I'm worried about my funded future account. And if I lost it today, I'm gonna be pissed. So, anyways, that's it. See you guys, I guess tomorrow or something. And if you guys are around, join the QuantView Discord server. And we will be doing a live stream today. Probably, I think today. I gotta double check, but I think we're doing a live stream in the QuantView Discord server. So if you have questions about the indicators, or anything like that, we'll answer them today. And if you haven't already, definitely join the QuantView Discord server. It's the Discord server that I'm the most active in for sure, by far. And we have some crazy, like, it's not just like we have crazy good people in there, but we have, you know, a lot of very profitable traders in the QuantView Discord server. I'm going to show my main screen here just to show people. Yeah. Okay, cool. So just to show people the profitable traders that are in here, it's like, you know, we have traders that are doing, this is actually a trader that just started. You can see he's new here. He just started using our indicators. I don't know how many accounts he's trading with, but, you know, for his first day having $5,000 day, then a 500 day, then a 2,300 and I don't know, 900, $3,000 day, and another $8,000 day today. It's wild. Jay's always crushing it. He's going to, if he's not already, he's going to be, you know, have over $100,000 in withdrawals by the end of the year. This is somebody that's using our indicators just in the in NinjaTrader. So we do have our indicators in the NinjaTrader. So I think he's you kind of see him up $9,000 on this account today. But those are evals, it looked like. But we have, you know, people that are taking it small, slow, 400. The guy's first day here over 6,000. People like Ice, though. This is the guy like you should pay attention to. This guy, you know, trading 20 accounts, right? Constantly posting his, not just his P&Ls, but posting how he took the trade when he entered the trade. Actually, I even have his chart layout right here. I've been messing with it. So this is his chart layout on the left side. And this is a 15-second chart on the right, but pretty much, you know, I did a whole video with him. He's, you know, definitely has taken out, you know, his first payout this year just from Apex, it was $20,000. Like, so definitely somebody to pay attention to. You know, I mean, this is a stupid day. You know, I mean, that's $100,000 day, isn't it? Yeah, that's $100,000 day. Over 20 accounts, all of them over 5,000. That's $100,000 day you're looking at right there. And what's cool is like he'll show you his entry, his first target, his second target, and he'll also he usually types in like why and why he took the trade, where he took the trade, and then you can see the time and you can figure it out yourself. He's very open about all his trades. Another 500. You can see here you have some evals, but you also have some PAs. $54,000 right there. This guy's already at a payout on that PA, so he might be flipping it because only $3 on that account. Yeah, I mean, so we have a lot of people in here that are just always crushing it. I like seeing guys like this though, like where, this is just one of his accounts, but he's 18 days in and it's $21,000 in profit. He probably has already taken one payout, so this is going to be his second payout that he's up to on that account. I like seeing people that have that are trading multiple accounts, but also having payouts, multiple payouts without blowing the accounts, right? That's kind of not a super important thing, but it's definitely helps, right? But it's also makes it so you not being profitable over the year. Yeah, there is a trial period, by the way. There is a trial period. I don't know what it is. I know we've got rid of it a couple times. I don't want to bring it back. So let's just see what it is right now. It's constantly changing, but yeah, right now we have a 7-day trial. Here's what I would do. If you've traded before, right? If you're used to evals, this sounds weird, but there's a couple different ways. We've had people actually make all the money to pay for our indicators or pay for our indicators within the 7-day trial period, which is crazy. Jay was the first one to do it. So Jay, this guy, where is he? Jay was the first person that I was aware of that did it. Wherever he is, him. So he was the first person to do it. Now, if I was to do it, right? If you think about it, if you had 7 days, right? If you really wanted to, I would, I don't know. It's like, if you could pass an evaluation fast, probably my funded features would be the easiest one to try it. But I would very, very much, watch the YouTube videos first, all the free YouTube videos that we have, right? Learn the indicators from the videos first before putting the trial. Specifically, I would watch Ice's video. A lot of people are trading Ice's setup. And I did a whole interview with him on how he trades. It was like spend a couple, 10 hours or whatever, watching a lot of our videos, a lot of the free content on how we trade, right? First, before doing the trial period, right? And then do the trial period, and if you're doing something like my funded features, like technically, yes, you could pass it and then be eligible for a payout before the trial's even over. That was really difficult to do, but, and the other thing is I wouldn't aim for too much. You know what I mean? Like, if you make like $700, right? Take it out, pay for the indicators, and then, go from there. If you're, the other thing is like, the other thing you can do, again, if you have capital, is, go on Apex's eval, take 10 contracts. If you really want, if you have capital to do it, take some evals, right? Pass one of them, over leverage, like pass one of them. And then that way, when you start trading, you're trading an actual PA account. If you're already used to trading, if you're not used to trading, don't do that. If you're not experienced, if you have been trading for like over, I don't know, say 6 months to a year, I would not suggest that. I would suggest taking it slow, use the past the evals and stuff. And of course, Jay, that's Jose. He, the guy that I just talked about, who passed his evals. No, he got a payout before his trial period was over. That's him right there. The guy that just came in the YouTube channel. He's not the only one to do it. There's been 3 people that have actually got payouts during the trial period. So, it's not common. I'll say that. It's not a common thing by any means, but it is something that I've seen that people have done. Wow. Look at that. They're up. They're going to have a huge payout. That's going to be a $20,000 payout for them. Week 3, 10 accounts. Yeah, it's going to be a $20,000 payout for her. It's crazy. Yeah, so it's like we have, I mean, what's crazy is, dude, this is she joined, this is week 3 for her. And she's probably going to withdraw $20,000 here, a month into using QuantView. So, yeah, I mean, dude, it's, I don't, here's the thing, don't pay attention to me. This is what I tell people. When it comes to like QuantView indicators, there's links for everything in my description, I think. If there's not, I'll post a link really quick. There should be a link. I don't actually know if there is links or not. There should be a link. No, I'm curious if my links are actually there or not. So if you go to, yeah, QuantView link, it's in the description. Yeah, so there you go. That's the indicators. Again, I would suggest watching the YouTube videos first, right? Get a feel and understanding on how the indicators work before getting the trial. After you have a basic understanding, then get the trial and go from there. But because I think that if you get the trial without and then trying to watch all the videos, you're just going to waste your trial period. And I think that you should just watch it. And the other thing is, like, we have people posting payouts in here. Again, it's like, my whole thing is, don't take my word for it. Go look at the people inside of our Discord channel that are actually getting payouts from this, right? And feel free to at them and ask them questions in the public chat. The public chat is free in the QuantView Discord server as well. And if people want links to it, I can, let's see, I'll just make an invite thing. Let's see. There's an invite to the Discord server. Bro, I had a session with a member Friday morning to break it all down in a simpler terms and show them how exactly I trade. And he made $3K Friday within a few minutes of market open, and another $2,400 today on all PAs. Dude, sick. Yeah, dude, that's awesome, man. I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see where you end up in terms of. I'm excited to see in terms of where you end up at the end of this year. It's like funny because it's like I can already tell that there's probably at least 10 of us by the end of this year, or 10 people in the QuantView Discord server that will be, over $100,000 in profit by the end of the year. Probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 6 of us that are going to be over the 300,000 mark. And Ice, dude, if Ice keeps his stuff up, dude, did you see Ice's P&L today, Jay? He had over $100,000 day today across 20 accounts. Setting up LLC or corporation to trade under because taxes. Yep. Welcome to that side of it. The taxes suck. This is why I've talked. I think I told you, like, I don't have kids, man. So it's like, I've been talking about moving to Puerto Rico. To save on taxes. Specifically, yeah, Jay, I'll let you answer that. really quick. Yeah, yeah, Jay, it's hard to do that type of setup, man. Dude, it's just, I don't know. I mean, I hired a CPA, that's specifically like decent when it comes to like trading stuff, and he's got to know the ins and outs of prop firms, and so he's advised me pretty much on everything. I went through a company called Aprio. I don't know if I should probably say that, um, but yeah, I mean, there's some good CPA firms out there that have decent backgrounds in like trading people. But more specifically, now I'm looking for a CPA that can help me navigate getting around the laws in Puerto Rico and stuff, and setting all that up. Um, and still, I have to take a couple trips out there, see if my wife likes it out there. Is the big thing. That's going to be the big thing. See if she likes it out there, then like I'm good to go. If she doesn't like it out there, then it's like, well, I'm moving Texas, or I'm moving Texas, I'm moving Florida. mm, I don't know, Wyoming, I think. So any places that have low income tax, but also low business income taxes, probably more important to me. Um, and so, um, what a lot of people do. Dude, I can't believe Ice had $100,000 day. Wow. Good for him, man. It's just wild to see a, $100,000 day of 20 across his 20 accounts. I'm still like in awe of that. I'm like, dang, like I've lost 100,000 in a day across 20 accounts. Like this year. That's funny. Yeah. All right. I think I'm gonna hop off, y'all. Yeah, Praz, join the Discord, and let us, just add us. Definitely hire a CPA. That's the smartest thing in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, the big thing is like, as long as you're putting money away, you're fine. And like, I mean, until you're over $300,000, it's not that bad, dude. To be honest with you, that's the other thing. It's like, once you're over $300,000 of capital, right? That's where things start to get like nasty. Is like, that's where it's like you're getting into like 40, 50 per, depending on what state you're living in. It can be like, I don't know, 40 to one of where I live is 51% taxes. 51% of the profit I make is gone. That's bye bye. It goes away. You know what I mean? Like if you're doing it through your own name, um, and state income tax, plus federal, and you're in the highest tax bracket, yeah, you get screwed. You just like 50% of your gains is gone. Um, and that's where you'll start, once you are above that, and then you start getting into like, you start pushing into like $1 million territory. It's like, becomes this question of like, okay, I don't know, man, that's where I'm at. I'm like, you start getting into, you're already in the 24%. Yeah. So yeah, if you put your trading profits in, like, yeah, I mean, what's nice is like, I don't know if you know this, I mean, but it's like, it's layered. Like your first $300,000 or whatever, you're like, you're only tax. How do I explain this? So tax bracket 1, right? You say whatever it is, like 50. I'm just going to use 50,000. I know that's not it. $50,000. That's all it's going to be taxed at the percentage for tax bracket 1. Then what's in tax bracket 2 from 50,000, let's say, to 100,000. That's taxed at a different percent, up and up and up and up. So yeah, I mean, again, that's why it's like you're not really screwed until you make over like 300,000. Then like once you're over that, then it's like, then that's where it's like, all right, you have to really navigate and like make sure that you have your LLCs set up and stuff. If you're not over the 300,000 yet, it's like, is it worth the headache to try to set everything up? Not really, I think. But yeah, once you're getting over that $300,000 threshold, then yeah, you need to make sure that you have all your crap set up right. You're already in the 32% just between those. Yeah. And I mean, you're not far away from being in the highest tax bracket then. See, dude, then you start to think like, this is where it's like, it's like let's just say you make like $1.3 million, right? During the year, right? That means $1 million, right? Roughly, you're losing half of it, right? Like $500,000 is just gone, right? And then it's like you look at Puerto Rico and you're like, I would get to keep almost all of that. Like you get to keep like, even through prop, like you would get to keep, uh, majority of it. Like, I mean, you'd be taxed like $4,000 instead of, 400,000. You know what I mean? Like, it's a huge difference. It's like ginormous. And so you start looking at that, you're like, dude, that's an extra $500,000 a year. I mean, at the end of 3 years, that's a $1.5 million increase to live in Puerto Rico. You know what I mean? And then it basically is, dude, that's a free house, like a really, like a nice free house. You know what I mean? That's where I'm at. That's why it's like, dude, that's why I've been down. Like, I don't know, man. Puerto Rico's been just on that fence line for me of like, like, should I pull the trigger, and if you're consistently over, I don't know, let's say 3 million a year, then I think it's like a no-brainer, because 3 years at 3 million, 3 years at 3 million, you get into like, let's just say you're making like $1.5 million more being in Puerto Rico for 3 years in a row, right? You're at 45. That's $4.5 million. That's $4.5 million more. That's like that. It's like, gosh, it's like, so that's kind of the goal. If I move to Puerto Rico, it's like, because, I'm making, I'm making, I feel like if you get to the point where it's like saving you're making $1 million more a year, I think it's a no-brainer to pull the trigger at Puerto Rico. Then that's kind of where I'm at in terms of like my logic in it. Because technically, like, there's a lot of weird rules around it. It's not like you can spend 6 months there and 6 months back in Georgia, or not, in the States, right? So like, you're only allowed back in the United States for 90 days a year. You can be out of Puerto Rico for 6 months, but only back in the United States for 90 of those days out of 6 months. So there's like weird rules that you have to navigate. And it's like, can you be away from your family, for that many days out of the year, for 3 years. Because I mean, at the end of the day, you have to commit to 3 years in order to get the tax advantages. And ideally, maybe you might want to probably stay 4 years or 5 years, just to make sure that, there's some weird rules on like, you can't just use it, or like, they don't want people just there to abuse it. There's like, the way it's written, it's very strange. Like, they have a closer connection rule, right? Where you have to prove that you have closer ties to Puerto Rico than you do the United States. So there's so many weird things. No, Dubai doesn't get you out of federal taxes. Puerto Rico does, though, for United States citizens. Our taxes are not based on. Our taxes are based on our citizenship. So the only reason why Puerto Rico has something called Act 60. It's like an agreement with the United States government and Puerto Rico, which basically lowers our taxes down to, typically, if you're like off your trading profits, it'd be 1%, and if you're in the trading industry space, like say the money that you make from prop, technically should be taxed at 4%, from my understanding, and so. Yeah, I mean, significantly lowers your taxes. I mean, like a total. That's like what you end up paying between Puerto Rico and the state, and federal to the United States. So you're paying like that 1 to 4%, which is very much different than paying 30, 40%, 50%. Yeah, a lot of people think that moving, the only way that you could not pay, there's the only two ways you're not paying taxes, federal taxes to the United States and Dubai, is one, doing something very borderline gray illegal, right? Two, well, I guess there's 3 ways. You could technically, like, there's one of the ways that people get around this would be like they set up an LLC in another country, right? And then they don't pay themselves out, right? But then that gets into the whole thing of like, all right, see you, man. Yeah, I mean, that whole thing gets into, how do you get this money back in the United States? Like, I have a friend that he has done a lot of business through his company in Panama, I think. Panama or Costa Rica, but he hasn't paid himself out, and that money he can't, like, getting that money into the United States without like having to pay taxes on it's kind of a total pain in the butt. That's the whole thing. Like, because it is a company, and it also gets into like gray legal areas that, whatever. But yeah, I mean, if you were an individual earning in Dubai, yeah, you still have to pay federal taxes on that, to the United States, unless you denounce your citizenship to the United States, which denouncing your citizenship is also weird, because even if you have a dual citizenship, right? So even if you're a citizen of another country, there's like weird rules on like, if you have a net worth over X amount of money, like you have to pay an extra, I don't know what it's called, what you'd call it, a fine or a tax. Basically it's like a leave the United States tax. It's stupid. That's the best way to describe it. So, it's a kind of, everything about the United States when it comes to taxes kind of iffy and screwed up, I think. But yeah, dude, it's all complicated. Or United States, it's just silly. Like, yeah, it's silly because it's like, even if you live in another country, right? Like, and like you're still paying federal income tax to the United States, which is silly. Which is kind of gets into like, I feel like if you've spent 70% of the year there, you know what I mean? Like, if like, it should be based on like, well, whatever. They say it's because of opportunity, right? It's basically an opportunity. Like, oh, because you're a citizen and we gave you these opportunities, like, therefore we are going to let your taxes, whatever, citizen based and not where you live based. So welcome to all that fun stuff. If it was easy as just leaving the United States, I probably would have done that a long time ago. Like, no question about it. Like, I would have gone up to like anywhere that had lower taxes, um, where I wouldn't be limited just to like Puerto Rico or something. I would have been gone. Dude. Anyways, all right. Well, have fun, y'all. I'm going to hop off here. We'll load up some other evals. I want to pass like 4, probably five, 4 or 5 evals today. I think I've already passed 2, so I have like 2 more to go, and then I'll call it a day. Yep. See ya. How do I end the stream?